Cool. We called it the Heavy Chef purely because about 4 years ago I was consulting with a client of ours, and I was telling him a whole bunch of fancy stuff about the digital tools that he can use and whatever, and it all sounded very smart until he turned around and said to me, "Well, Fred, how much of this stuff do you actually use yourself in your own company?" And I started laughing. I said, "Well, actually, not a heck of a lot." And he said to me, "Well, I never trust a skinny chef." We have these sessions once a month that basically are free for the public and for friends, family, pets, dogs, whoever wants to come to these things. And we try and get engaging, interesting, entertaining speakers to come along and tell us about niche topics within the kind of digital industry.
Eric spends more time in front of the computer than most people in a week. In just a day he does.
And we thought to ourselves, Cape Town's a pretty cool place, let's come and do it here. It's an internet company, we can do it anywhere in the world. And that's exactly what happened. About 4 weeks later, we got ourselves a house in Constantia, and it was Vinny and myself and 2 other guys, and we moved into house in Constantia, and we started working. We basically converted the lounge into a couple of desks, and it was a beautiful house. There was this massive pool outside, which at that stage we probably spent half the time sitting in the pool. It was December, it was like hot, we weren't doing that much work. The second and third largest casino groups in the world, internet casino groups, are based in Joburg and Cape Town, and one of the largest software casino groups is based in Durban. And so I went to work for one of the groups in Johannesburg. While working for the internet casino, we went and created like a micro-lending platform, and we did a deal with a micro-lender, and that was also one of the failures. So I won't talk too much about that. And one of the experiences we had is a company paid us, and I could be wrong, but I think it was quite a large... Oh my God. I don't know how to switch my BlackBerry off. I got it a few days ago, and I'm not quite sure yet. But they put this amount in, and I think it was about $20,000. It was about 100,000 Rand. And about 6 months later, it suddenly got taken out of our account. And it wasn't a week later, it wasn't 4 days later. And we spoke to the bank about it, and they said that if the US company feels like taking the money back out, there's a much longer period. And I think the period is something like 2 years or 5 years, which they can actually take the money out of. So you can use EFT, there's no problem, and you can use a check, but there are risks when actually taking money from overseas companies, and those you would probably have to look at on an individual basis to decide what the best policy for you is. For the first 2 years or 3 years, it was very much an affiliate arbitrage model. Like I described to you, it's become nowadays more professional pay-per-click companies. So if you want to do a search engine marketing campaign, you'd go to speak to Incubator or Clicks Customers, they're different names for the company, and they're one of the large South African internet marketing companies that specialize in pay-per-click. And so I thought, well, why not take the idea of clothing shops and create an internet venture around it as well? And so we looked at all the US models, the UK models, and we strategized. We started building a model which would allow us, which we believe eventually has got big potential. And I won't throw figures out here, but we've got ideas that it's going to become a pretty successful company. Our biggest competitor at the moment is a company called Threadless in the US, and this year they're on track to do about $75 million from selling T-shirts, and that's all they do. And the idea behind Spring Leap is that designers from around the world submit T-shirt designs to us, the public votes, and the top 20 every month, we then actually manufacture them, and we print them, and we distribute them to shops around South Africa and shops around the world. But we've gone a step further. We've created a whole B2B program around that, and we've created a whole virtual program similar to Facebook where you can actually sell little virtual images to each other through our system. There's a lot of potential in South Africa, and you will be able to make money out of e-commerce in a couple of years' time, I think, and you'll be able to make money out of internet marketing in a big way. The challenge comes if you really want to raise money from venture capitalists. How do you explain to a venture capitalist how you're going to compete with Europe and how you're going to compete with the US? So you'll probably hear from Charl where every single story has been a success story, but there aren't too many guys like that.
The biggest one, Blue World, which is our most like mainstream commercial non-niche social network. We launched at the end of 2006, and it's really about meeting people, creating new friends. We take photos in nightclubs, give you a card. Hopefully the next day you come to the site and start your profile around that photo that we took. So it's really the outgoing clubbing crowd. We also take photos at 2020 cricket matches and on beaches, so anywhere really where people are out and about and meeting. And Blue World has all the normal bells and whistles that a social network has. You know, we have blogging, video sharing, photo uploading and tagging. You can join groups. First and foremost, of course, driving traffic, growing the base, getting visitors to come to your website. If you build it, they won't come. It doesn't work like that. You have to market and get people to come to your site. The easiest way is, of course, search marketing, which is really a fancy word for just to get traffic from Google and the Yahoos. What we did was, and we did really well, is latch onto current trends. We created a Werner Koekma group. We wrote some articles, uploaded some photos, and really marketed hard on Google. So if you would Google Werner Koekma, we would hopefully come up. And we just launched m.blueworld.co today, which is sort of our mobile site. And you can do everything that you can do on Blue World on the mobile side, like adding friends, checking upcoming events if you quickly want to grab some directions, if you're going out to a party, or reading news, powered by News24, of course. We're being acquired by 24.com, aka Naspers, earlier this year, which was very big for us. It's called Speakerbox, and it's sort of MySpace bands versus fan pages on Facebook. So it's going to be within Blue World, but as you can see there, rock, urban, pop, dance, kwaito. You can come to the site and create a profile for your band or your kwaito band or your hip-hop artist or whatever.
For more information, go to www.heavychef.com.